What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a video sort of about Ghost of Yōtei again. I know I've already made a couple about them. The last one was about the success or the lack thereof with video game. Like I said in that video, I do think it's going to cover its cost, but it's not going to be anywhere near the success that Ghost of Tsushima did. I mean, even still now with on X, I don't see a lot of posts about it. The energy just doesn't seem to be there. And so I think, like I said, I think there's reasons for that, which we'll get into, right? Now, the gamer wrote this article about Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong, what they have in common with Ghost of Yōtei. But then they go on to complain that, well, Ghost of Yōtei seems to be the only one that really received backlash. So there's a few reasons for this, right? And I'll try and make this a short video. So the article starts with, this past month has seen 3 games arrive to near universal acclaim: Hollow Knight Silksong, Hades 2, Ghost of Yōtei. They all have a 92, 92, and 88 score average on OpenCritic. To me, that means nothing. I think you and I both know that reviews can be manipulated. So when they come out with a high review score from critics, I don't put a lot of stock in it. I can't tell you how many games I've seen where they have a high review score and the user base hates it, or the critics give it a low review score and the user base loves it, right? Same thing with movies. I don't give this a lot of credence here because I think it can be manipulated. Now, what they do here is they go on to complain about, like with Asmongold. He's like, when Ghost of Yōtei was revealed in 2024, it was met with a decree of backlash. Streamer Asmongold famously asked, "Do I have to play as a girl?" upon seeing the reveal trailer. Well, so, guess what, guy? Whoever's writing this article, let's see, is it Steven? No, Andrew. All right, I was thinking about that meme with the cat, like, Steven, I thought you were dead. You know, the cat laying on the ground. Anyway, Andrew, right? Andrew? Yeah. So what Andrew doesn't seem to understand is that not every person likes to play as a female character, which is why a lot of times when you see them introduce a female protagonist in video games, like Assassin's Creed did this, well, even with their recent one, but when they started introducing a female protagonist, they back in what, Unity, was it? It was the one after Black Flag, if I believe. They made it to where you could play as a guy or a girl because they understood their player base, that there are potentially going to be people who don't want to play as a girl. Whether you like it, whether you agree with it, whether you think these people are bigots or not, it doesn't matter. They have their reasons, and you just don't understand them. What you need to take from that is not every person likes to play as a girl. Now, I personally do. I personally do, right? If the character is attractive and I have the option to play as a female, I will play as a female because I'm going to dress her up, make her look as sexy and attractive as I possibly can. Because guess what? I like women. I like women that are attractive. I don't like women that are ugly. Oh my God. You know, that's like the standard guy thing there, right? I mean, every guy, you're like, oh my God, every guy thinks that way. Oh my God, what is going on in this world? So then they complain or try to complain or compare it to the similar outrage that The Witcher 4 received, Star Wars Outlaws received, Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet received. Well, Intergalactic, that's just an ugly activist, I guess. Well, I don't know if she's an activist, to be fair, but I mean, it's an ugly bald chick. Who wants to play as an ugly bald chick? I mean, really? Nobody. Raise your hand if you do. I don't see any hands. All right. Star Wars Outlaws. The character there was deliberately uglified. I mean, you look at the model they used and the model they came up with for the in-game character, huge difference. It's like the only time they don't uglify a character is if the model they're using is already ugly enough. Then they're like, okay, we can put them over. We won't feel threatened by them. They won't threaten our whole agenda and ideology worldview, right? They're ugly enough. I mean, what does that say about that character? Like, is it Deborah Wilson, the woman who played, she was in Forspoken, she was in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, she was in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, something like that. What does that say about her? That's an insult to her, right? That they'll move her over one for one to the point where any game she's in, you will recognize her. You'll know who this person is. But if it's an attractive person they move over into a game, they have to change the face. They have to uglify her. They'll remove boobs. They'll change the face. They'll do something. They even do it in movies. They did that. Was it Dallas? Is it Dallas Howard? I can't remember her name. She was the hot redhead in the Jurassic Park world or Jurassic World, whatever. The first movie with Chris Pratt in it, right? Dallas Howard. I can't remember her name. But anyway, It came out later that there was a certain scene where she's standing looking out the glass. It came out later that they digitally like removed and made smaller her backside. I'm like, are you serious? Why do they do shit like this? I mean, how I don't I mean, she probably wasn't offended by it, but to me, unless they had a legit reason, that's an insult to her. That they're insulting her. And I think that's crazy that they do this to characters in video games and movies. It's nuts. They go on to complain that Hollow Song and Hades 2 didn't get the same type of outrage, right? I think there's a couple of reasons for that, like I was saying earlier. Well, the first reason is Hades 2 and Silk Song, their designs are not the like realism style, right? So you can make it more conventionally attractive, I guess, easier. Not to mention that in Silk Song, that's a bug. I mean, you can't really do much with this face hair. It's a bug, right? Now, what's weird? I like it, but what's weird is even though this is a bug, you know how much cosplaying I've seen of this character, how much fan art I've seen this character. And look, Andrew, you may want to sit down for this. All of this cosplay, all of this art, you know what they all have in common? It is fucking hot. The bodies that they design in the fan art is fucking hot. The R34 I've seen come across Twitter of this character, Lord, how mercy. And then Hades 2, the design there, the graphic style and the character designs are attractive. Now, I didn't like some of the styles. I thought some of the styles were potentially borderline racist. I also thought that there was particular design that I thought was very androgynous and manly, and it's supposed to be a woman, and I didn't like that design as well. And you always start to question why they do things the way that they do. But overall, the designs of these characters, and look, this is a very appealing character here. She's pretty, right? She's conventionally attractive here, right? She's got a nice rack. She's got a pretty face. And the face is for me more so than the rack is what really does. The rack is just icing on a cake, right? But the main cake for me is the face. The face has to be attractive, right? If it's not, then it's kind of a turnoff for me. Whether we're talking about real life women, like if I'm trying to date a woman, you can have a body that's smoking hot, but if your face is lacking, you're not going to do it for me. I mean, now when I'm 20 years old, that's a different story. Those hormones driving through me, they're going to think something different. Now, I may not take you home to mama, but I may take you home. I'm just saying. But that's 20-year-old me. 43-year-old me, no. The face is priority now, I've had enough of the other stuff. I want to be able to look at you. I want to be able to like what I'm looking at. Your face needs to appeal to me. And I think from a video game perspective, it's the same way, right? Stellar Blade, doesn't matter how hot you make the character's body, if the face was ugly or unattractive, that would have hindered my desire to play the game. It would have. Because look at all the cutscenes they do for Stellar Blade, right? Where she's talking to Adam, she's sitting down, she's going through the world. She's in those cutscenes, and if she is ugly, then I have to see that. It's not like I'm only seeing her from the backside, I have to see her face. So I want it to be a conventionally attractive face. Now, Ghost of Yōtei suffers from that. Its graphic style, one, makes it more difficult to present you to be more, I guess, conventionally attractive. Not to mention, I do think that plays a role into it, right? I think that they can make her conventionally attractive. They just refuse to do so. But and maybe that's ultimately it. Maybe it's not the style more so than it is that they just refuse to do so. Maybe that's what it is. But I only see this problem in games that use the realistic style. So a part of me thinks that plays a role into it. Because like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, while it wasn't as bad as say Ghost of Yōtei and some of these other realistic style games, even their more attractive characters in that game, while they hit the mark in certain areas, the face still was not. While it wasn't as bad as Atsu here, I think that's her name. It still wasn't perfect for me. I would have liked it to be a little bit more attractive. And I think that's the limitations potentially of this graphic style, right? So now let's take that, we'll set that aside. We know the graphic style plays a role into it. What does Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong have in common, but different from Ghost of Yōtei? They're sequels people wanted. They're sequels that people were looking forward to. Sequels that people knew were coming. Ghost of Yōtei was not the sequel that people were looking forward to, was not the sequel that people wanted. I think that plays a role into this outrage as well. I think that plays a role into this backlash. Now, not to mention that the game itself, when I see it on X, it's cooking. It's that initial cutscene where you're riding a horse and you're coming up to the skybox, I guess you could call it, with the mountain in the background and just the beautiful flowers and the clouds, and like, oh, this game's gorgeous. That's all I see. Look, here's the trick when it comes to video games, entertainment, movies, TV shows, advertisements, right? If you're trying to sell a product, doesn't matter what the product is. If you're trying to sell a product, what's the first rule of marketing? It has to be attractive. It has to appeal to your target audience. And that's part of the problem that these game devs have. They don't want to do anything that appeals to its target audience. And a lot of times that appeal is done through your character designs. Concord had this problem. Its character designs sucked. Not to mention the trailer was horrible. And so, like, when you're selling a product, whether it be the packaging of the box, whether it be the person selling the product, there's always going to be something in there that's going to appeal to the person's eyeballs, right? That's what booth babes used to be all about, right? You get people's attentions. It's, like I said, the packaging has to be appealing to the person that you want to buy it, right? If you're selling a car, you want the car to look good. You want the people who you want to buy the car to think the car looks good. So you're going to do everything you can in your power to make sure that the design of the car, the body of the car, is attractive to the person buying the car, right? It's the same way. Like when you go to a club, if you're a woman, you go into a club, what do? You put on an attractive outfit. You put on some heels to accentuate your thighs and your calves, right? You put on makeup and some blush to accentuate that you're in heat, and it helps you look like, cover some of your blemishes on your face. Women do that. Why? Why do women do that? I think it's pretty obvious. They want to make themselves look attractive to the person they're trying to appeal to. Well, video games is the same thing. You want the game to look attractive to the person you're trying to appeal to. They've done a good job in this game of making the environments look attractive and look good, but they failed miserably on making the character design look attractive and appealing to the people they wanted to buy the game. You compare so it seems like what they did, Sucker Punch designed Atsu completely off of the English voice actress. The Japanese voice actress was much more attractive. They should have used her as the design for the body. They chose not to. And there's reasons for that. Okay. There's activism involved. There's agenda and ideology involved. Look, you can sit here and say, I don't know that, but we know that, right? We know. I mean, it's obvious why they did this. They chose her for the wrong reasons. They should have chose a body actress or someone that they were going to make the design of Atsu based off of. They should have chose someone who would be much more appealing to your customer base. People are going to complain about it. People have the right to complain about it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And then, like I said, the energy for this game just doesn't seem to be there. It just doesn't. The gamer can complain all they want, okay? But they're missing it. They don't quite understand it. They do touch on it here at the very bottom, right? They need to understand that this is just the way things are, right? Whether they like it or not, this is just the way things are. That may be because the heroine, Lucia, is conventionally attractive. Now, they want to go with the fact that they think GTA 6 is like, but no, that can't be right. No. That can't be right. That can't be the reason. My theory, and this is what Andrew was saying, but my theory is that GTA 6 is just too big, too anticipated a game to try and derail with complaints about feminism. No. Yes, GTA 6 is huge only because GTA 5 was huge. But that's not going to stop people from complaining. What GTA 6 is doing is they understand that people may not want to play as a female character. They're not pushing their agenda and ideology on you just so that they can feel better about themselves. They want to present a game that's just as successful as GTA 5. So they did what most other games have done that go from a male protagonist to a female protagonist. They give you the option to play both. But you can see here, they refuse to acknowledge the issue. The heroine, Lucia, is conventionally attractive. That's all men want. If you're going to make us play as a woman, make her conventionally attractive, especially if she's going to be in cutscenes and we have to see her face all the freaking time. So, I mean, again, I can't say this enough. I've said this before. I've done a video about this before. Your female designs in video games, unless there is an in-game lore reason as to why, then you need to make her attractive. I don't mean you need to make her a porn star. I'm not saying you need to make her a fuck doll. I'm just saying you need to make her conventionally attractive. I mean, if you can make her attractive enough where people want to cosplay her and be her, that's going to make your game even more of a success. Because people are going to see that cosplay. They're going to like that cosplay. They're going to ask, oh, what is that? They're going to find out. Then they're going to look at your game. It gets more eyes on it. Now, if your game is good, when those eyes are drawn to your game, then guess what? That will result in more sales. So will an attractive character design make a bad game good? No. Will an attractive character design make a good game better? Yes. Yes, it will. It will. Now, will a non-attractive character design hurt a good game? Yes, it will. It will. It will turn people off. People won't look your way. You can have the best gameplay loop all you want, but if people aren't looking your way because your character design turns them off, then it doesn't matter. So character designs are very important. That's the biggest thing here, and these people refuse to acknowledge it. They don't want to do anything that offends them because they're all fat and ugly pigs with nose rings that don't understand that both men and women that are normal still find women attractive and would like to look at women who are conventionally attractive. My wife is the same way. Okay. She's not a lesbian, but she likes to see women who are attractive. She doesn't want to see an ugly woman unless there's an in-game or in-lore reason for it. And she's more picky than I am. I mean, there's women out there that I'll find attractive. She's like, come on, really? I'm like, hey, it's just, So she's a lot harder to please than I am. So anyway, that's all I got for you today, guys. I know I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I'm tired of seeing this discourse, and maybe we'll continue seeing this discourse. But man, it is really getting fucking tiresome. It really is. Anyway, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content. If you want to be part of my community, make sure you click that Discord link that's in the description, and I will talk to you guys next time.